All right, on today's episode of The Hustling Agent, we have got a treat and somebody who I was cool with back in the day, but I haven't seen in a couple of years, so this makes it even cooler. We have Casey O'Toole. Casey, how are you, bro?
Can't complain. Can't complain. Talking to Suneet. It's been a couple years. Yeah, I've been kind of looking forward to this. So
Yes,
doing
sir.
good and excited.
So, we knew each other kind of in like the lab coat days when they were doing more, although I'm sure Tristan's doing a bunch right now. We just probably don't even only see a portion of it. Lab coat agents days, and then you guys really hit kind of this lab coat scene with a LinkedIn solution that I think was completely like groundbreaking. So, can you tell the people who don't know you about a little bit about yourself and your company?
Sure. So my name's Casey O'Toole. I am a real estate professional, and I also run a real estate kind of marketing agency, but focusing on LinkedIn called My Link Solution. And yeah, I mean, it kind of came about by happenstance where my background is more in marketing and data science. And so when my brother and I kind of teamed up to start a real estate practice together, I was leveraging some of my skill set to generate leads, kind of using automation. And it worked out really well for our own individual practice. And so we then kind of bundled it together and started to sell it to as a service to other realtors around the nation. But I mean, it's incredible. I did not intend on being this like LinkedIn kind of pro, but
Guru, right?
you just you just follow what works. And I was in, I mean, I think I knew you when I had Lead Faucet, which was like email marketing. Um,
Yes, that's true. Yes.
yeah, I think yeah, we tried sending you some leads. So
Yes.
email marketing was great for a short amount of time, but I got some bad reviews on our Google page. People got upset. Uh, and then domains would get burnt so quickly. So it wasn't a very scalable product. But LinkedIn um, was an amazing opportunity because it's a scalable process and it's somewhat complicated to know how to use LinkedIn as a whole. But real estate agents, we don't have time to learn it. And so that's what's
Totally.
kind of fun. So I've been kind of learning so much about LinkedIn and how to leverage it that it's just been good all around.
And I think it's unique too, right? Like we were saying, um, like you guys, I was sitting in a car heading to a showing, a remote showing, like 40 minutes away. And it was raining. I was sitting in a car and I'm talking to Barry Jenkins, right? Me and Barry Jenkins, shout out to Barry, sitting there bullshitting, um, just rapping. We used to rap a lot back then. And he's like, hey, I'm getting leads from LinkedIn. And I was all, "You're doing what? Like, get out of here!" Like at the time, Facebook leads were the cool thing, and I reached out, and yes, like what you guys did with Sales Navigator, like at the time, was completely new, right?
Mhm.
Is that kind of where the LinkedIn work started? Was with the Sales Nav, or was it somewhere else?
So Sales Nav is a LinkedIn premium product that we require all of our clients to use because it allows us to target the audience at a very like granular level. So we can find, top level agents for recruiting. We can find CEOs, executives that went to your same university. You can really leverage the filters on Sales Navigator and target, in my opinion, better than how you can target on Facebook. So,
Sure.
so I mean,
I would say that you're right too, that the targeting is better than Facebook.
yeah, and and we've learned a lot of kind of like hacks on how to even get around some of their things that they don't allow. So just for example, just kind of provides more value. If you're trying to find people of retirement age, there's not a filter for age on LinkedIn, but you can put down like a certain date, like a specific date in the keywords, And that indicates that that date is somewhere in their profile, which is either where, you know, they graduated from a university on that date, or they started a company at that date. So then you can
Cool.
like get around the whole, you can't discriminate based on age, but you can. Um, funny
Target, not discriminate. Target.
Target, there we go.
Yeah.
Funny, quick funny story about the whole Barry and your relationship. But on that same car ride, I was trying to get all your guys' like LinkedIn emails and passwords so I can sync your accounts. And I don't think this is still Barry's password. So if it is Barry, I'm sorry. But uh, Barry's password was I love Suneet heart or something. I love
Yes.
Suneet heart. And I'm like, Barry, stop effing around, man. Come on, like, I got things to do. Like, what's your password? It's like, no, that's actually it. So
Yeah, so funny. I love Suneet for the wrong name too. I love it. I love it. Good. So now outside of Sales Navigator, which I think is the most common, well, maybe for me and for us, that's like where I saw the big opportunity back then and right now. Did I ever tell you, sidebar, that one of my cousins is an executive in Sales Navigator, part of LinkedIn? Did I tell you that?
no, but I'd love to get to know him. I need some inside intel.
Yeah, I don't think she has any. But anyways, so outside of Sales Navigator, what other options, and I'm asking for selfish reasons 100%, but I know it'll bring value to the listeners and viewers. What other options can we do inside of LinkedIn for like traffic or re-engagement, or remarketing?
Yeah, so I'd say there's two other pretty obvious channels. One is creating a LinkedIn business page. So
Okay.
create one um, for your real estate practice or your brokerage, but I would recommend creating one for your real estate practice and send people there. So you're kind of branding yourself. One could be creating like a LinkedIn group and starting to engage people there. They're not the same as they're not the same as Facebook groups. In fact, there's way less engagement on LinkedIn groups than there is on Facebook. But it does give you the option to like invite people into the group and get more exposure that way. I would say,
And those are
right.
both of those like organic more so or paid?
So those are all organic. So I don't do any paid advertising on LinkedIn. So you can
Okay.
so similar to Facebook, where you can create a Facebook group and you can invite people into it. Same concept with a business page and a LinkedIn page. But I would say the most leverage, again, is it's free, is creating LinkedIn events. Because you can not only invite, I believe, 1,000 people that are in your network a week to that event, but you could also require that they input their information in order to attend the event. If you
Mm.
if you send it from a if you create the event from a business page, you can require that they put in their name and email. So that's a lead almost immediately. So what I've been I've done some webinars and kind of tutorials on this, but creating like a home buyer presentation or a market update or a market snapshot or some sort of like event, then blast it to your network, 1,000 people a week, and then capture all the information and then retarget to them.
Retarget to them on the different channels or on LinkedIn?
So either or, you can message everyone who was a part of that event, but since you have their email, you can
Yeah,
then
their email.
bring that into your CRM, follow up boss, try whatever you use, and tag them as LinkedIn event date, and then
Yes, that's really smart. I like that. So you could do a webinar, a home buyer's webinar, and you could have it be at the end of the month, right? And invite 4,000 people in your network, right?
yep.
And have them. So the webinar is the lead magnet, right? And then have them fill out a form that populates your CRM,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the LinkedIn lead. Wow. And that's organic.
Yeah.
So you would
Um,
just go through and invite everybody that you would want to invite on your list, or is there could you do targeting there with sales nav? Like what do you think the best way is? That's really fascinating, bro. Like, do you see my wheels spinning in my head? Like that's real fast.
you know, maybe I don't have like the voices I used to, but when I learned about LinkedIn events, I was like texting Tristan, Barry. I'm like, hey, like you should do this. Like do this like tomorrow. Like, um, and and it requires some effort. It requires someone to go into their account and invite all these people every week. Um, but it's not that much effort. It's really simple. You can filter for realtors living in a certain area and then add, add. So it's a really simple process.
So you're talking like for like a recruiting thing.
Um,
Yeah, dude, that's a good idea. Like some kind of training. And if you use Sales Navigator right, Casey, then you can then you have a bunch of agents in there,
yeah,
right? And then do like some kind of recruiting form. Yeah, that's good. You could even make an evergreen type of webinar with information about the organization,
yeah. And
right?
so the sales navigator component doesn't really apply as much because they have to be in your network in order to invite them to the event. So you can't really put in a link and say invite all these people. It's people that are in your network, you can invite them. But then also anyone can invite people to that event. So your assistant or your admin or your colleagues who have a big network on LinkedIn, they can invite 1,000 people to the event as well.
Wow. Wow. Dude, that's like got me thinking, man. That's great. Well, what else is a cool LinkedIn hack that people should be doing? How about LinkedIn job ads for recruiting? You have much experience with those LinkedIn job ads?
Yes, I've I've tried hiring people through it before. Whenever they give me like free credits or whatever, I'll say, "Are you hiring?" I'll say yes. I'll post my job description. I haven't had the best luck with it. I feel like it's people that are just like spray and pray approach with a they can very easily apply for a job without any real barrier to entry. And so the
Mm.
quality, it almost takes more time for me to read through their resume before, and then I've interviewed them before. And I'm like, so have you done any research on my company? Do you know what we do? They're like, oh, are you a realtor? I'm like, yeah, but I'm not hiring for that. So I haven't had much success with it. Um, I've had more success hiring through a system like ours, where we can kind of have our own kind of barriers to entry. We can like have them fill out a form before they actually get to an interview.
Sure.
Um, and that's a little bit easier and kind of more streamlined. But there's
So we tried to recruit agents on LinkedIn ads
with
and
paid ads.
LinkedIn paid ads.
Hmm.
It didn't work at all. I spent
Yeah.
like 2 grand. I got one person who was in like Africa.
Well, I think the issue is it's the targeting. I mean, you don't really have much control over the targeting, right?
No, there was not much. It's not the way to go. I have colleagues in other markets that have had more success using the same ad copy, but yeah, it didn't work for me, so I stopped trying.
Yeah, I mean that's why. So it's one of our biggest clients now are realtors trying to recruit
Yeah,
because you can target, and if you have like a large geography that you're targeting from, you can really narrow down on years of experience, brokerage. What brokerage do you work at? Um, so I mean, there's a lot of things you can do through Sales Nav.
awesome. Well, let's take a quick break for the sponsor, and we'll come right back. So that's good.
Yeah. So what does this break mean? Are you just gonna like cut this out and then
Yeah, cut it out and then put some affiliation in there.
wait?
So yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started now. 3, 2, 1. So I have a question about something in Sales Navigator. Now, let's compare it to like an email list
Okay.
where you're selling more stuff, you're nurturing the people. You think it's better to export because you can export the list of emails from SalesNav, right? Can you
Not
scrape that data out?
not through LinkedIn, no. And it's difficult to do if they're not already a connection with you. So what you'd want to do is find that list, put them in a connection campaign. Once they're connected to you, then you can do a first connection search and scrape that data and pull it out.
Okay.
So
Okay. So if you're like trying to get agents, then it's probably easier to just buy the list from like Market View Broker or something.
if you wanted an email list, yeah, I mean, you can't really buy one from LinkedIn.
Sure.
So, and you can't, well, and there's some software I think that you can do it and scrape it somehow, but the stuff that we use only can get information from people who is in that person's first connection network.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably easier. So I am in a couple marketing masterminds, and they were saying, a good way to get the list is scrape the people out of Sales Navigator, but they're not the LinkedIn expert like you. They're just the expert of everything. So what? Good to know. Because I was about to try it. So I'm glad I didn't waste any time. I can be talking to you instead. What else are you guys working on, you and your brother?
So I mean, like I was saying, like we're putting together like a full service digital marketing agency. That's kind of what we're working on now, and then LinkedIn will be our top of funnel. But
Awesome.
what's nice is we're gonna have a lot more kind of control over some of the features. So we're not gonna just be doing like, oh, here's your LinkedIn leads and like that's it. But we're gonna be providing like websites with lead capture magnets that has like local SEO, kind of put into it as well. We'll be feeding all of our LinkedIn campaigns to that local SEO kind of website, which then leads, if they fill out a form, will then filter into our CRM. We'll send out emails to those people as well, text messages, and a lot of kind of cool funnels that we're going to be building out. And then our last missing link is finding a VA or someone to be able to manage all of the replies and manage all those kind of connections and set appointments. So we're working on just having this whole full suite thing, but that's kind of our next thing.
Dude, that sounds exciting. You guys still selling homes?
Still selling homes. Did 50 million in sales last year between Sean and I, and
Dude, that's awesome. What was that,
and
like 4 houses?
it was mostly beach houses. Like, so Sean's focused a lot on like beach homes in Ventura. So
Smart.
a lot of beach homes, a lot of Santa Barbara. But about 20% of that or 10% of that came from LinkedIn. So it's just uh still doing the LinkedIn side and real estate. I'm focused more on LinkedIn now than I am real estate, but it's all
Dude,
good.
I think like that's something that's really cool about you guys that I respect is you're real estate dudes who are trying to get more leads and you figured out something unique and you got really good at it and helped other teams like we're talking about all of us that used it, and I'm still a fan and I use it every day and I talk to people on LinkedIn every day. So if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to do it, Casey?
Check me out on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
KC,
that's the best place.
that's pretty easy to do. KC OToole. Our website's My Link Solution. That's kind of it. I'm on Facebook. Find me on Lab. Search for us on Lab Code Agents or any of those different groups. We're
Yes.
all there too. So, um, yeah, I'm around.
All right. Well, dude, so good to see you. Thanks for being on, and I'll hopefully see you soon.
Right on. Cool. Thanks, Suneet. Appreciate it.
All right.